And we are live. This is your host, Teddy Flakko, with a special episode of Headlines Only. Today we are here with a good friend of mine, Mr. Julio Fuego. And
You're
today, we're just going to shoot the shit. We're going to discuss politics, women, shit like that. So, yeah. I don't know. How should we get this? How should we get this bad boy started?
we're gonna get it started with a nice cigarette and talks of a young playboy's life. You know, like we had a separate conversation outside of the pod about just the dating life of a man in this day and age. 2025, and how difficult it is on either side really to make things happen because we live in such a shitty generation of hookup culture and you know people thinking it's okay to be a fucking piece of shit and infidelity and blah blah blah. That's really the basis of what we were talking about prior to the podcast, but we could really expand on that now.
Oh, absolutely, we can expand on that. I mean, when it comes to this culture, it's really like, people brag about their body count. Like nowadays, you have girls that'll brag about their body count, which is like, I don't know. But I mean, even for a guy, I've gotten to the point where it's like, I mean, like, I got some bodies under my belt, but like, I feel like there's like a quality over quantity type thing that you have to account for. Like if you have one body but you've been dating a smoking hot girl since high school, that's worth a lot. So,
Yeah, yeah. I would say that it's definitely quality over quantity. And, as a young bull, you're thinking, get as many girls as you can, blah, 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 things like that. But when you become an adult, it's like, damn, I would rather have one ride or die chick than a million just thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not as gratifying to just sleep with random women than it is to have, you know, somebody who's important to you and rides for you and you love each other and that whole shabab. But I genuinely believe that. I've always been a lover boy type. I've done my due diligence of being a youngster, but I'm grown now and I really see the difference between playing the streets and playing the house, and I'll play the house all day. I've been a fuck boy and I've been a good man, and I'll choose to be a good man every time because it's not as fulfilling to be a fuck boy than it is to be a good man. But the age and day we live in, the dating world doesn't even exist at this point.
no, it's really just we're really just like cats and dogs running around these days, just just running around. I
Dogs
mean,
being dogs, cat being cats.
for me, when it comes to women, if you love her, let her go. Cause the way a woman works, what you have to understand about women, that and men don't have this. This is unique to women. So listen, young boys, girls have wigs. They don't need to develop at all. Really, all they need to do is to develop their boobies. And once they get nice big boobies, they can walk and fly into a random man's life and just act like they've been there the whole time, and no one's gonna raise any questions. Now, as a man, you are nothing. You are just a man, and you have no intrinsic value. And you must cultivate and develop yourself to become desirable. So, when it comes to women, and what you have to understand is if you truly love a woman, you have to understand that she's most likely going to fly away once you're, yeah. So, that's something that,
Yeah.
that men just have to understand.
Every good thing comes to an end eventually. I try to be optimistic, but the reality of it is, like you said, every man is born with no value. Every woman is born with value off the fact that she's a woman, case in point. But a man has to build himself up in order to be desirable and have value. And for a man to be valuable, you have to be successful, you have to have money, you have to be stable, mature. There's physical and mental characteristics that go into men's value. But a woman just has to be pretty. Even a woman that's fat and butt ugly still could walk outside and have an easier sex life than any man, whether you have value or not. And that's really the unfairity to it. Like, men have to be valuable at some point with certain tools. Women could be fucking butt ugly and fat and disgusting and still somehow have an easier sex life, a more applicable sex life than a man of way higher caliber. It's really crazy, the rankings, but that's just the reality of it. And our job as men is to be the best man we can be. You know,
Oh yeah, I'm a strong believer. There's actually an Instagram account that I believe it's called Homath, and they really break down how it works. Let's say you're a guy and you're a 10 out of 10. You're fucking 6'8", jacked, handsome. Now, the girls you're gonna want to play around with are gonna be like sevens and eights. And I mean, good for you, honestly. Congratulations. But you're gonna want to play around with sevens and eights, maybe even a six every now and again. And you're gonna want to try to wife a nine. You never wife a 10 because they're all batshit fucking crazy. Like what
yeah,
you have to understand, even if you're a 10 out of 10 guy, is a 10 out of 10 girl is a basically a lunatic because she doesn't live in reality. She's like
not at all.
she's never had a real conversation. She's never existed. Well, you don't exist in the same dimension as a 10 out of. If you want to talk to a 10 out of 10 girl, you have to step into some alternate reality and really spit some game at her. And she might put out for you, but just know you're in La La Land. Everything's La La Land. None of that shit is real, and you gotta get back. You gotta get back
Yeah,
to reality.
absolutely. I think the more direct way of saying it is men are very much logical and women are very much emotional. Women do not possess logic on the forefront. Their emotions take hold, and you know, if they feel like 2 plus 2 equals 5, that's the reality. And some women possess the ability to be logical and say, "Well, I feel like it's 5, but I know it's 4." Whereas men, whether we feel it or not, 2 plus 2 equals 4. There is no emotion in that. Whether I feel like it's 6 or 7, it's still 4. But a woman will say, I feel like it's 5. I don't care that you just proved that it's 4. It's 5. And that's how strong women's emotions go into everything that they do. And what you mean by La La Land is just, they could be completely wrong. You know, the argument of 100 women versus accountability.
Well, they could
Women,
literally be bad shit insane. I'm talking hobo crazy. You gotta understand, a man that's a hobo, he might have bipolar disorder. He might be schizophrenic. And for a man, your life is over. You're under a bridge sucking cock for crack. For a woman, people will just put up with that. That's what people need to understand. A lot of these girls are literally batshit crazy, and no one's gonna do anything about it because no one really has to.
yeah, women are still hot, so why do we have to correct them? I mean, I'd like to, but it never goes my way, so you kind of just have to let it be, you know? And some women fall in line easier than others, but most of the time, it's really not going like that, unfortunately.
Now, like, don't get it twisted. I love women. I love women. I mean, probably more than anything else in this world. I
Absolutely.
mean, who doesn't love? I mean, who doesn't love a nice set of tits? Like me personally, I have dreams about just buying a girl a nice set of tits and just reminding her of that every fucking day of her life whenever we get into an argument, you know? Just
Like, yeah,
like,
you got some nice tits.
just like, she's just like, oh, were you cheating on me? I'm like, hey, listen, who bought you those titties? Yeah, all right. That's what I think about in my free time.
Very much applicable, yes. I mean, you know, I could say the same. I definitely do appreciate a nice, good looking woman, but as a grown man, it definitely comes to, are you a good person or are you batshit crazy? You can look good, but are you going to be a fucking problem? And I think that's what is hard for us to tear as men is like, we like looks, you know. I want a really beautiful girl, but if she's a fucking terrible person or a whore and has no home training, there's really nothing other than the body, and that serotonin will run out eventually. You know, a lot of men get distracted by bad women because they look good. So you're either going to end up getting hurt or breaking the bank or something's going to happen to you. You're going to get cheated on. You know, that's what comes with a 10 out of 10. You know, is just
Oh,
bad.
it's not worth it. It's never worth it to wife a 10 out of 10. Because you're
No,
gonna give her everything. You're gonna give her everything, and she's gonna say, "Oh, it looks like you don't have any more to give." Well, this guy does, so bye. Because once again, they have wings. They're gonna fly away, especially a 10 out of 10, bro. I mean, she's just gonna fly and fly and fly. And these days, women can keep it together longer than ever now. I mean, I've seen girls in their 50s who still look good these days, you know? So it's really like, with a 10 out of 10, it's just not worth it. Like me, I'm like, ideally, if life goes the way I want it to go, I want a wife somewhere between a 7 and an 8, most likely. Maybe a 9 if, I don't know, it's a perfect 75 degrees outside. We have a wind chill of like 15 degrees, you know. Um, on the brightest day, maybe a 9. I really don't see that happening for me. But maybe, who knows, you know, I really knock it out of the park somehow. But what I really care about is a woman that can set a good example for my children. Like,
hmm
God forbid I have a daughter and my wife is like just a thought, right? Because that, and now this is why I love my mother, because I feel like she set a great example for me personally. Like, and honestly, if it wasn't for my mother, like, I'd probably have no respect for women at all. But me, like, seriously, but.
I'm right there with you, dude. I'm right there with you.
But just seeing the way, you know, how she worked and how she operated and seeing the example she set, you know, like I know that not all women, like, don't get in your head all women are whores, right?
No, not
You're
at all.
hanging out at the club. You're hanging out, you know, at the fucking beach, you know? You're in these college dorm rooms. Those women are whores. You're most likely going to run into a whore in those environments, and you just need to appreciate that fact. But it's not all women. It's really not all women that are whores.
Not at all. No, I don't believe that every woman's a whore. It definitely dumbs down to, good women are inside the house. They're cooking, cleaning, and raising the kids. A good man is at work or doing what he needs to do. And anything else is playing the streets. If she's at the beach without a man, if she's at the club without a man, mm, you know, if she's at Barnes and Noble without a man, she's probably a good person, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain environments you can and can't go because a certain stigmatism comes with, or a stereotype comes with, where you are and why you don't have a man with you. Vice versa, a guy. I mean, it goes both ways. If a guy's at the club by himself, I mean, we all know what that means. We're men, we know what it is. But if he's at Barnes and Noble, he's probably going home to his wife. He's just picking up a book to read. He might be getting Rich Dad Poor Dad or something, because
Oh,
yeah,
fun
at least he's
fact about Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know the guy who wrote that is a scam artist?
really.
Yeah, he's not actually in the real estate. He actually made all his money off of writing the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
You know, and that's crazy because I've heard that. It's a good book, but I mean, I've heard that he's not somebody to take after. And it's like, well, I mean, hey, I just want to know how to make money. If listen, that's the thing. He's a scam artist, but did he make his money? Yeah, you know? So, fuck it.
Really, really get it how you can, bro. There's so many different ways to make money. There's so many different ways to make money in this world. Um,
It's
yeah.
just about right avenue.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to do right now with this podcast. I really want to get into stand-up comedy because, like this podcast is cool, but I feel like I can really get my name out there if I start going out to clubs and shit. Because I've got some good bits under my belt. I'm not gonna drop them here either. You're gonna have to fucking pull up to my venue.
Yeah, you got to pull up to the show.
You gotta pull up to the show. Listen to me spit some game on the mic. I promise you this though, you won't be disappointed if you do.
Get a couple drinks in you and just start spitting the shit.
Speaking of getting your name out there, I understand that you're a rapper.
I
Uh,
am. Music.
yeah, yeah. What would you say is your favorite song that you created?
My favorite song that I've ever made is probably Tap Out. I love that song.
And
Very good.
what is the message? What is the message of that song?
Get money, fuck bitches, and just live how you fucking want, dude. I'm very much a rapper. I also sing. I rap. I produce. I engineer. I do a lot. But my favorite thing to do is being the artist and rapping. My rap is definitely not something I want my kids listening to. Um, but I'm working on trying to implement a better message and a better forefront for the youth, and trying to do my part in not being a degenerate piece of shit, which is what most of these kids idolize these days. Because now I'm older, and I'm seeing the error in it. Because I think about it like, if my kids listen to my music, they're gonna think it's cool to do this and that, and it's really not realistic. It's just me. Rap music is like a diary. It's, I'm getting the inner me out. I'm letting it out on paper, and then I'm rapping it, whatever. So it's however I'm feeling in the moment. I might want to fuck bitches this day, get money this day, smoke a little weed, drink a little this. I very much talk a lot about me, the good and the bad. And a lot of people take that as, all right, this is what's cool. This is what we should do. No, you should not do drugs. You should not be a piece of shit and sleep around with hundreds of women and cheat and lie and, street shit in general. Cause, we're not going to get into that, but I've lived my street life. I've lived a good life. I've done both, don't do that, but, the youth hears the rap and they're like, oh, this is what's cool. We're going to go do this, shoot at the ops and da da da. No, it's just rap. It's not real life.
Bro,
None of these rappers are really doing this shit in real life.
you want to
Everybody's
know something funny? When I was a kid, like I fucking thought like I had to like gang bang to be cool, bro. It was the
yeah,
dumbest shit. I literally lived in the suburbs, bro, and I was like,
yeah, dude. Yeah. Even the suburban kids are like shooting at the ops. It's like, brother, you're in a suburban area. Please calm down. And I can't say shit. I'm also from the suburbs. I've done my time in the street because once I got my license, I was outside. But I've seen it all. I've been with the Hicks. I've been in the ghetto. I've been in the suburbs. I've seen it all, done it all. You know what I mean? I very much am multicultural, multi-avenued with everything in life, and I've seen it all, done it all. It's very much okay to be from the suburbs and get money and live a good life, because going to jail or dying of an overdose or getting shot is just not applicable. It's not cool. As a youngster, you think it's cool because that's what everybody's rapping about. That's what everybody's doing. It's popularized by media, but you only realize it's wrong when you get older, or you get caught up in some shit and it hits you like a bus. Like, oh, I need to fucking stop. Like, this is not cool. And that's what it was for me. I luckily just got older. I never been arrested. I've overdosed, but I never got shot. You know what I mean? I've been in predicaments, but I never got shot, by the grace of God. Like, it's just not cool. It's what's popularized by media and makes everybody else think it's cool. Because, this is probably going to be our next topic. We all know that the system wants us to be dumb guinea pigs running on that fucking wheel, chasing the fucking carrot. You ever seen that little the
oh
diagram? The
yeah,
rat,
bro. Like if
the
we could get, oh no, that's exactly what the system wants. Like a lot of the shit that they push on us. Like they push Little Pump, the Island Boys. They were fucking. I can't say it. I can't say that word because we're on radio. But they were homosexuals, and they pushed them on us.
yeah.
And they didn't even let us know that they were doing all that gay stuff.
They
Uh,
just, the video of them kissing, and then now, okay,
yeah, and then like now all that's, and let me tell you, I've seen some shit when it comes to to gay shit. Like I'm not gonna stay on this point too much because I don't want to get. Well, I can't get fucking canceled. Only 5 people are gonna listen to this, but still.
if we blow up,
Anyway,
who gives a fuck? Let's get
so somebody's gonna pull it up. Like, look, Teddy hates gay people. I don't really hate gay people. I'm not really that homophobic, and I still got some shit to say. But like, let me just say, like, I've seen some shit, bro, and just be careful out there, man, because you might think, oh, I'm a guy, like I don't gotta worry about getting raped. Let me tell you,
this. You do,
yes, you do.
because me and you could get drugged the same way a girl could get drugged, and me and you can get carried out the club the same way a girl could, and then we ain't with something else.
Let
Fine,
me tell you, yes, you do, little nigga.
you better
You,
watch this out,
you
dude.
better fucking watch out.
Dude, I've been to Woody's and Voyeur in Philly before, and I'll never go there again. I walk in and I'm getting eyes from all
Yeah.
dudes. I'm never putting my drink down, because I swear to God, if I wake up and my asshole hurts and I'm in some, yo, listen, I own a gun. I have a legal gun. I have my FID, my CCW. This motherfucker will go off because why am I waking up and my asshole sore and I'm somewhere I don't even know where I'm at?
Oh,
Where's
dude,
my
I am not boxing a gay guy, dog. The stakes are too high.
no?
The stakes are way fucking too
He's
high.
gonna try to fuck me. No, I'm not doing that. You're gonna
I'll
no.
I'll fight a normal guy, like that's honorable. I'm not about to
Yeah,
get ass raped.
but you know what I mean. It's that goes along with what we were saying about the system. Like the system keep us. The system wants to keep us degenerative. They want to keep us docile. They want to keep us poor. They want to keep us gay. They want to keep us fucking, just not powerful. They don't want to let us become who we're supposed to be. That's the power of
Oh,
this.
yeah, and honestly, and like you don't have to take my advice on this because this is more of a personal decision, and I believe some people need therapy, but that's one of the reasons why I don't go to therapy because I believe therapy, like yes, they'll help you, they'll take you out of that state of crisis, but they're gonna make you a herbivore. They're gonna make you harmless. You're gonna
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
oh, it's okay to think like that. Just as long as you're not doing anything to hurt anybody or hurt yourself. But
yeah.
me personally, and this is just a personal thing, but I'm a predator. I hunt, I eat, and I kill. I don't need that shit. I'll handle my own shit.
Absolutely. And that's the first part of is self-development is are you self-aware enough to talk to yourself and figure out what's going on and what you need to do and who you need to be? Because if you need another, as a grown man, if you need another man to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing, you got a lot of growing to do. And unfortunately, a lot of people in this generation, man or woman, don't possess the power to be self-aware and know who they want to be and where they're going and what they should do in the moment to get there and who they should be. It's very much mental health is a very big thing in this world. Granted, the world we live in, but I am very much a mental health advocate because I've seen the bright and the dark sides of mental health, and I will always advocate that if you need help, go get help. But eventually
Absolutely,
you gotta carry
absolutely.
your own torch. Eventually, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, if you need, like, once again, like, that's just a personal conclusion I came to for myself. But, like, if you're having, like, serious thoughts of harming yourself or harming others, go see somebody. Go see somebody.
Absolutely. There's no pride lost in needing help. It's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? Like, and not everybody possesses the power to be able to do it themselves. It takes a certain caliber of man or woman. It takes a certain caliber of human to be able to be so self-aware that you can figure everything out yourself. Some people don't have that power, and that's okay. You know, go get help. I mean, I personally I've been to therapy before. It
Oh, a
doesn't
lot. Yeah,
it
right. Well,
it doesn't
here's
do
the thing. Like, even when I was there, I couldn't really open up. I'm like, am I just supposed to tell this stranger all my traumas?
yeah, it's uncomfortable trying to give you because you're the only person that's lived in your skin to understand really what you're saying. They can only hear what you're saying and implement it to their own personal um, experiences and or what they learned in their psychology classes. You know what I mean? It's they can't give you the full picture. They could give you some advice, what you should and shouldn't do, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're the one that's living in this flesh body. So it's like you have to be the one that sets the example for yourself and leads you to where you need to be and fixes it and like just therapy just doesn't work. For some people, it does. I have friends that are in therapy. They say it's great. They've been going for years. It helps them. But people like me and you, more so free thinkers, alphas, we know what it is. It's just not. It's not applicable. So
Now,
not no knock to anybody who goes to therapy or is not okay and needs help. It's just there's a certain type of person that we can handle it ourselves. We don't need therapy. We got it. We're good.
it's a great alternative to therapy. Drugs. No, I'm just kidding. But
No, that's what the system. That's what big pharma wants you to think. Now, listen, I can say that as well. Yes, absolutely, but it's not. There's no longevity in it, and you very much will have a bad high or two, an
no.
overdose.
What you
Get it.
really want to do, get into like physical fitness. If you're not gonna go to the gym. You gotta let that anger out somewhere. You gotta
Every
go to
man
the gym.
warrior, and every man has a warrior inside. You got to let that warrior out. You
Yeah.
know.
Yep. You gotta go to the gym. Like I did some jujitsu for a while,
Hmm.
boxing,
So yeah,
um, just some meditation. Write down your thoughts. You gotta do something if you're not gonna do
you
therapy.
got to
You
get
gotta
it
do
out. You
something.
can't hold it in because
Yeah.
holding it in will make you go insane. Like
Yeah.
you said, have a little. fucking that's what music is for me. Like some people have a diary, some people write on a note and then burn it. I just make music and I'm just letting because I have happy songs, I have sad songs, I have angry songs, I have gangsta shit, I have real shit that's like I have R&B, I do everything, you know. I in my free time I make EDM fucking beats on my computer when I'm bored and just fist bump in my fucking room because I'm like this is hard. There's always an escape. There's always a way to get it out. There's always a release. I make music. Some people have a diary. You go to the gym. You take jujitsu. You go to the range. Because shooting a gun feels fucking great. Makes you feel powerful, and men
It
want power.
does.
Dude, the
Yep.
range, free time, just like it feels great. There's always a release to something. There's always a hobby that can distract you or help you get out of it. Because some people need distractions and some people want to find a solution. There's there's ways to cope and then there's ways to really get by. Escape, and then there's ways to stay in reality but be productive. But hey, anything will help as long as you're not fucking taking your own life because
I'll say another thing that helps with traumas. I will say, on top of working out, nothing feels better than when you go to see someone you haven't seen in a couple months. Like I went to my tattoo artist not too long ago, and the first thing he says to me, I walk in, he's like, "You been working out?" I was like, as a matter of fact, I have.
yeah,
Like it feels amazing.
that is
And
the great when someone's like, "Damn, bro, you got big. Are you working out?" Yes, sir, I am. And it's just the validation. It's just like, yeah, like someone sees it, like I see it, but when other people see it, it's like, oh, word, like it
yep,
gives you a boost.
it does. Especially like another thing you can do, write down a goal, write down where you want to be in like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years.
Hmm.
And that shit, like you don't realize it, but a lot of this shit, like a lot of people are just aimless. They like they're not going anywhere because they don't know where they want to be. If you
Hmm.
say, "I want to be this. Here's how I'm gonna do it," you'll just start subconscious. Your brain will just start rewiring itself. It'll be
Hmm.
like, "Okay, I want to do this thing. Here's how I'm gonna do it." Now you have a path to do that. Make it
Hmm.
reasonable. Don't say, "I want to be the first astronaut on Mars," and you're a fucking 32-year-old plumber. Like, come on, like that's not gonna
Yeah.
fucking happen. That ship has
You-
sailed, my friend. But,
yeah. Listen,
but
I am very big on the laws of the universe, the law of attraction, the laws of karma. Like the law of attraction is a real thing. Like your mind is a very powerful thing, and this is the shit X used to talk about. Like your mind is a magnet. So if you say I want to be a millionaire, okay, how do you do that? You got to start businesses. You got to get into stocks and cryptos or whatever. There's multiple avenues to money, like we talked about earlier. Like I'm going to do real estate. I'm going to get in the union, get my money up, and do real estate, and then that's how you reach fortune. Because fame is a lot harder to get at. I wanted to be a rapper. I'll still do music on the side, but it's not realistic because the pool right now for musicians is just oversaturated. So I gave up on that, but I'm still going to get rich and be a millionaire before I die. Fuck being famous. I'd rather just be rich. But there's multiple
hey,
avenues of money.
I think you could become a famous rapper, but you're gonna have to get rich first and then
Yeah.
promote yourself. I've seen a couple people do that. Who
Yeah.
was that? That Kid Boo guy?
Yeah.
He got rich off like reselling shit,
Hmm.
and then he promoted himself as a rapper, and then he popped off because he was able to finance his like so much of that shit is promotion.
Yeah, dude, it's very expensive because if you want to pay for studio time or pay for a beat or pay for a ghostwriter if you're into that, or build your own studio or and fuck everything else. Promotion is the biggest thing with music, dude. That's what's taken most of my money with doing music is promotion. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube promotions, Google promotions. That shit is expensive. I remember one time when I came out with that tap out song, I spent $1,000 on promo. The video was $1,000. The promo was $1,000. The B&B we shot the video at was $2,000 for the night. You know what I mean? That's 4,000 right there. Plus the beat, which is probably $100. The studio time, which is probably 60 to 120 bucks because it's 60 an hour, depending on where you go. That's a lot of fucking money to invest in yourself just to try and get somewhere. Now,
Oh
granted,
yeah.
that's why it's like you got to get money before you spend it. I realize that. I got to get rich before I want to spend money like that again because life hits you in the ass and says, hey, here's some more bills and here's some more things you got to deal with. Life is always lifing. So, you got to find your avenue. You got to set that goal and you got to write a plan out because you can say to yourself, all right, I want to do this. But then you're left like, how do I do that? If you write it all down and you rehearse it and you're like, all right, I got to do this, 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 the goal almost becomes clearer and you believe it more because it's like, oh, it's not that hard. Like I know how to do it. I have the plan. Your avenue is clear. You know, your path is clear. It's much harder to achieve a goal when you don't know how to fucking do it than to sit there and be like, all right, let's be realistic here. I'm not going to be a billionaire by the time I die. It's possible, but let's hit our first million first. Let's hit 500,000 first. And you go from there and you take it, you know, you never stop expanding, evolving, and superseding, you know, yourself. Let's hit 250, then we'll hit 500, then 750, a million, 2 million, 5 million, and just compound it because it's really not hard to get rich. It's just people don't apply themselves. And I think I heard Andrew Tate say this. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Everything in life is hard. Life is hard innately from birth. But if you really want it, you got to go get it. And if it was easy, everybody else would do it. That's why most of the population is poor and not rich. But it's definitely possible. People become millionaires every day. People start clothing brands. People get into real estate like I want to. They start a podcast. They start Twitch streaming, YouTubing, making music, selling cars, you know, reselling shit on Amazon. I know you used to do that. There's multiple avenues. I used to resell clothes on Depop and I was making good money. Now I'm selling my Funkos. There is so much money to go around in this world. You really have to be a dumbass or just not want it bad enough to not go get it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You got to be an idiot to not know how much money is going around. Especially when
I
we keep, as a country, they keep printing it. There's more money to go around than ever, dude.
I like to tell myself this: there's a million ways to make money. There's a billion ways to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
You can't be distracted. You can't get distracted either because the women will suck you dry financially and literally. Inflation itself is fucking us. You know, the housing market is way more expensive than ever. Cars are worth way more than they have ever been. You go to Wawa, you're spending $50 on a meal. You know, I mean, McDonald's, the cheeseburgers used to be $1. Now they're way more than that. You know, everything's getting more expensive. So if you don't want to drown, you have to get above the curve. You have to stay above the curve if you want to live a fulfilling life. Because if not, you're going to be working 2, 3 jobs the rest of your life, chasing a paycheck, not even able to buy. You're still renting. You're still leasing. There's no motion. You know, can't call it a movement if there ain't no motion.
Now, let's get back to the girls for 1 second. Now, I
Okay.
think every guy should go through what I like to call a hoe phase, where
Mhm.
he just kind of runs through some pussy for a while. You know, because I feel like if you don't run through pussy for a while, you just won't like you really won't be able to appreciate a good relationship. I feel like you'll get a good relationship and you'll be like, you know, I kind of want to run through some pussy, you know? What do you think about that? Do you agree or disagree?
I think every man should have a hoe phase because it teaches you your worth. It shows you, okay, I can pick up mad chicks. I am handsome. I am applicable. You know, having, you know, it sounds bad on paper, but what it does for a man mentally and physically, it turns you up. It upgrades you to the next level to have a hoe phase. It's shunned upon because infidelity and, you know, how we just talked about this loveless generation, but it has its perks and it has its negatives, you know. I also think that a canon event a man should go through, every man should go through, falling in love with a whore and getting your fucking heart broken.
Yes. Yes.
Every man should have his fucking heart broken at least once in his life. And I don't mean like a, you know, you had a good girl and you guys broke up and you're sad for a couple months. No, you need your heart ripped out by the fucking most treacherous slut on the planet. You need a succubus to literally suck you dry, metaphorically and literally, and just take your heart. Like she literally reached in your chest and ripped it out and squashed it in front of you like Mortal Kombat. Every man needs to go through that because you'll be broken for a year or 2 or 3, however long you take to get back. And once you get back is when the hoe phase kicks in and makes a man remember who he is, and then you're back to being who you were. It's a
And
cycle.
then you can actually handle a relationship. That's when you can actually handle a relationship. Because
Mhm.
before then, you're just in puppy love. It's not real love. It's for little
Yeah, you
kids.
don't know what it is yet, and you're still learning yourself and what you do and don't like in relationships and who you are. You're still learning yourself. You know, nobody's perfect. We're always evolving every day in this life. But you got to learn yourself first before you can, and love yourself first before you can really step out there and say, yeah, I'm ready for a serious relationship and marriage and kids and da da da. That's why all these kids in this day and age are fucked up. Our kids hopefully won't be fucked up, but us in our generation, our parents, people have kids before they're even ready to grow up. What the fuck are you doing? Why do you think everybody's got trauma? Everybody's got some type of childhood trauma or something going on, like mental illnesses and stuff. it's prevalent to people that are unhealed having children. If you're healed and you're good and you're solid, your kids will be fine. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people who aren't healed that have kids, and then you're basically repeating the cycle.
Yo.
Don't you guys want to break the cycle? Dick up before you have kids. Make sure your money's right so your kid don't live in poverty. Make sure you're healed in your brain so you're not beating your kids because you hate yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and respectfully, men and women both, you got to make sure you're having kids with the right person. Some people in this world are just lost forever and they're fucked from birth. Some girls will never stop being whores. Some dudes will never stop being dogs. Don't have a baby with a thought, because now you're really just setting your kid up for failure, because he's going to ask you, Daddy, why does mommy have a new boyfriend every week? That's
Mm.
my worst nightmare.
And God forbid she doesn't stop drinking and smoking when she's pregnant. Then your
Oh,
kid comes out retarded.
oh, dude. Listen, I don't believe in hitting women. Give them a little love tap here and there. Give them a little slappy slap if they talk back. Something like that. Something light. No domestic abuse.
Yo.
But dude, I'm crashing out if my woman is drinking and smoking and partying while she's pregnant. Bitch, there's a baby in your stomach. We are creating life. We're
Shit
creating.
happens. Shit
And
happens every day. Some
you're trying to
bitch
nerf
gives
the
birth to
baby.
a retarded fucking baby because she
Dude, she's
just couldn't
trying to nerf
stop
the
fucking
baby
doing
before it even
drugs.
comes to the world. She's trying to nerf the baby before it's pushed out. You know, smoking and all this shit. Like, what are you doing? Some people really just are not like here. You know what I mean? Like, how do
Yep.
you have a baby in your stomach and you're still being a piece of shit? And on the men's side, how do you know you have a kid coming in and you're still doing what you were doing when you were single? You have a woman you need to take care of now and a child.
See,
If you're
this is
not
why I'm an advocate for abortion. Because some people cannot have fucking kids. They just
people just
can't.
be having kids, and the unpopular argument of I'd rather take that life away so that it doesn't have to suffer when it's born.
Yeah.
It's inhumane a little bit. Yeah, you're killing off life and da da da. But would you rather the kid grow up in the system or in a shitty household, or would you rather just save him the hurt, save him the fucking pressure, save him all the bullshit he's going to come into the world with? Like especially people with herpes that have kids or AIDS or you know shit
And
like
they
that.
give that shit to the kid. Some
They
people are
give
born with fucking AIDS.
some
People
people are
are
born with.
born with AIDS.
You're nerfed from birth. That's what I say. You're nerfed from birth. You probably should have been aborted to save you the hassle of growing up. Like, damn, I have herpes. I can't do nothing about it. And then the kid grows up and goes out in the dating world. Oh yeah, I have herpes. What? And then every girl's gonna think, oh, you fucked a dirty bitch. Every man's gonna be like, oh, you fucked a dirty dude. No, I was just born with it because my parents weren't shit. I can't help that. Like you're just fucked. And then who wants that life? So that's why it's like, dude, if you're not ready for kids or you shouldn't have kids, don't. The world has enough people in it. You'll be fine. Like, fuck the bloodline. The world has so many people in it. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? It's just someone else will continue the bloodline in your family. You're all right. You don't have to have kids. Because that's my biggest argument. I want to continue the bloodline. I want to make my forefathers proud and have kids and big family. Like Andrew Tate said something about he was at a family reunion and he was looking at his grandma and his grandpa, and there were 72 people at that party that were born from his grandmother and grandfather. And that's the biggest honor. I want to be old as shit with my 5 kids next to me and their 10 kids and 20 cousins and aunts and uncles. And you know what I mean? There's 100 people at this party that were birthed from me and my wife. That is the biggest honor in this world. But if you have herpes or AIDS, fuck it. Just
Yep.
party all your life, be single, and do what you want. Spend your money on cars and houses instead of kids because you can't have them. You shouldn't have them. But you know what I mean? Just,
Yeah.
this world is fucked, dude. And we need to bring it back from the dark ages, dude.
It is. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fucked up things happening in this world, but I mean, there's nice things in this world, bro. I mean, bro, we got midgets, strippers,
Food.
balloons, alcohol, gambling. There's so many beautiful things in this world.
Yeah, it really is the little things in life. It very much is the little things in life.
Yeah.
I like to shoot some blackjack here and there. I like to make money. I like to spend my money. I like cars and women and houses and nice clothes and jewelry. I like to get a nice fresh cut every other week. If I was rich, I'd probably get a cut every week.
Oh yeah, I'd be getting my hair braided every 2 weeks if I was balling.
Dude.
Yeah.
This really is the little things in life, and it's about the friends you keep and the partners you proceed with. It really is the little things because the big picture, everything sucks. The system, inflation, war, death, famine, sickness, mental illness, you name it. The world is a big shithole. But the little things make it worth it. Like right now, you got a beer in your hand. I'm about to go to my girl's house and drink vodka and play Minecraft with her while we smoke cigarettes in the room. The little things in life, like. But tomorrow I got to wake up, go to work, and then go to a fucking job interview. You know, it's just the way the world goes, and you can't really fight it. You just have to roll with it, evolve.
Absolutely, sir. Well, is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I could talk for hours. I'm really good for deep talks like this. But for the first episode of me and you, we could cut it if you want, and then we'll come back later on and make an episode 2, 3, 4, 5, just going off on more shit. But I definitely am good with what we have. I think it's a good basis for right now.
For sure. I got one last question for you.
Oh, what's that?
Here's the situation. You need directions. To ask for directions, you got to choose between a man with one tooth or a man with one leg. Who are you asking for directions?
The guy with one leg.
Why?
Because the guy with one tooth, why do you only have one tooth? That looks worse because you only lose teeth by doing drugs or getting in a fight or not taking care of yourself. A man with one leg, he's got a story to tell. He's got a fucking story to tell. He might have been in the war. He might have been in a motorcycle accident. He might have, he has, I would feel like more of a chance to give me some enlightenment than the dude with one tooth. Now, I could totally be wrong. Dude could have been shooting up heroin and lost his leg by an amputation. And the dude with one tooth could have been in the war and got a grenade in his face. But in my head, missing teeth means you're a little fucked up somewhere. A leg missing, oh, you've seen some shit. Like I said, you have a story to tell. I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah, no, I love a man with one leg, bro. Like that's a good look. So manly, bro.
Could you
Like
could you love a woman with no legs?
what I do what?
Could you love a woman with no legs?
Bro, I could love her way easier, bro. I wouldn't have to get through anything. You kidding me?
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Well, listen, Mr. Fuego, it's uh it's been a pleasure as always. Oh yeah, that's right. You got that Naruto tattoo on your hand. Yes.
Don't get a hand tat, it hurts.
Well, always a pleasure talking with you. An honor to have
Absolutely.
you on this podcast, sir.
Thank you for
Um,
having me. It was a great opportunity. I appreciate it.
yo, well, you want your Instagram in the description? We could get that.
Yes,
Get
sir.
yeah, get some promo. Yeah, go
Absolutely.
follow him. Yep. Uh, but yeah, all right, brother. Take care, man.
You too. I'll talk to you.
All right, peace.